I paid $2,500 a month for my sister's rent, and she called me a jerk and cut me off. I stopped paying. I paid $2,500 a month for my sister's rent, and she called me a jerk and cut me off. I stopped paying, and what happened next? She never saw it coming. For 3 years, I covered her rent. Every month, without fail, I sent the money, believing I was helping family. She told me she was struggling, crying, begging, saying she'd be homeless without me. And then, one day, I found out the truth. She wasn't broke. She wasn't struggling. She was scamming me. And when I finally confronted her, she cut me off like I was the villain. So I stopped paying. And the moment reality hit, her world crumbled. Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. For 3 years, I sent my sister $2,500 every month, no questions asked. I told myself I was doing the right thing. Family helps family. Emily, my younger sister, had always been a bit irresponsible. She wasn't bad with money, she was just terrible at keeping it. She jumped from job to job, spent way too much on clothes and nights out, and always seemed to be one step away from financial disaster. So when she called me 3 years ago, crying, saying she was about to be evicted, I didn't even hesitate. She told me she had lost her job and had nowhere else to turn. "Alex, I don't know what to do," she sobbed into the phone. "If I move, I'll be in danger. I have no money for food. Please, you're my only support." She sounded so scared, and I was the big brother, so I stepped up. I told her I'd cover her rent until she got back on her feet. It was supposed to be temporary, a few months tops. But months turned into a year turned into 3. And every time I asked her if she was back on her feet, if she was looking for a better job, if she needed help figuring out her finances, she had an excuse. "It's just really hard right now. The job market sucks. I just need a little more time." I believed her, because why would my own sister lie to me? But then I found out the truth, and everything changed. It started with a random night when I couldn't sleep. I was scrolling through Instagram, mindlessly tapping through stories, when I saw Emily's latest post. It was a boomerang video. Her, in a rooftop bar, holding a glass of champagne. The caption, "Living my best life." I paused, frowning. Emily had told me she was barely scraping by, that she couldn't even afford groceries some months. So, how was she affording fancy nights out? I brushed it off at first. Maybe her friends had treated her. Maybe it was a one-time thing. But then I clicked on her profile, and what I saw made my stomach drop. Dozens of pictures, all recent. Emily at a luxury spa. Emily at a Michelin star restaurant. Emily with designer shopping bags. Emily on a weekend trip to Miami. Every single post was her flaunting a lifestyle that didn't match the broke, struggling little sister I had been supporting. At first I thought, maybe she's just posting old pictures, maybe this is all for show. But then I noticed something in the background of one of her stories. It was her apartment. The same apartment I was paying for. And in the corner, a pile of luggage. That's when it hit me. I grabbed my laptop, went to Airbnb, and typed in her address. My jaw dropped. There it was. Her exact apartment. Listed for $400 a night. Emily wasn't just living off my money, she was renting out the place I paid for, while lying to me about being broke. I stared at the screen, my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Emily had turned the apartment I was paying for into a money-making side hustle, and she never told me. For 3 years, I thought I was helping my struggling little sister. In reality, she had been scamming me the entire time. I clicked on the listing, scrolling through the pictures. The description made my blood boil. Luxury apartment in the heart of the city, perfect for travelers looking for an exclusive stay with top-tier amenities. $400 per night, instant booking available. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. $400 a night. If she had even half of those nights booked, she was making nearly triple what I was sending her each month. And yet, every time I asked if she was okay, if she needed help finding a better job, she played the victim. She had been lying, using me, milking me like an ATM. And that's when my frustration turned into rage. I had to confront her. I grabbed my keys, got in my car, and drove straight to her apartment. I didn't call ahead, didn't give her a chance to make excuses. And when I walked through that door, what I found inside made me snap. I unlocked the door with my spare key, the one Emily had given me when she first moved in, just in case of emergencies. Well, this was an emergency. I stepped inside and immediately noticed something off. The place was spotless, too clean, like a hotel. Then I saw them, two tourists, a man and a woman, sitting in the living room, casually sipping wine. They looked up at me, confused but not alarmed. "Ah, you must be the owner," the man said with a thick German accent. "Thank you for letting us stay here. It's a beautiful place." I felt my stomach twist. These weren't Emily's friends, they were guests, paying guests. I clenched my fists, keeping my voice calm. "How long have you been staying here?" The woman smiled. "We booked for a week. It's been wonderful so far." A week. That meant Emily had fully moved out. She wasn't even living here. She had been collecting my money, renting this place out, and probably living somewhere nicer with the profit. I forced a polite nod. "Enjoy your stay." Then I turned and walked out. I didn't even bother calling Emily. I was done playing nice. It was time for her to feel what it was like to be cut off. I got back in my car, my hands shaking with rage. Emily had played me for a fool. For 3 years, she had let me believe she was struggling, while she was making thousands off the apartment I was paying for. Well, that was about to change. I pulled out my phone and called my bank. "Hello, I need to cancel an automatic transfer." The operator asked for the details, and I gave them Emily's rent payment. "Effective immediately," I added. "Cut it off. No more payments." "Understood, sir," the operator said. "Would you like a confirmation email?" I smirked. "Oh, I'd love one." "Yeah, send it over." As soon as the confirmation hit my inbox, I forwarded it straight to Emily. No words, no explanation, just the cold, hard proof that her gravy train had ended. I sat back, staring at my phone, waiting. And sure enough, 5 minutes later, she called. I let it ring twice before answering. Her voice was already dripping with fake sweetness. "Hey, big brother. So, I just got this weird email saying my rent payment didn't go through." I smiled. "Yeah, that wasn't a mistake." Silence. Then her tone shifted. "Wait, what do you mean?" I said slowly, "you've been lying to me for 3 years, and now you can figure out your own damn rent." Her fake calmness crumbled instantly. "Alex, come on, this is my home. I can't just—" I cut her off. "No, Emily, it's a business, one you've been running behind my back, so now, run it without my money." She let out a panicked laugh. Okay, let's just talk about this." "Nothing to talk about." I hung up, and for the first time in 3 years, I felt free. The silence after I hung up was pure satisfaction. For 3 years, Emily had used me, played the struggling little sister act, while secretly profiting off my generosity. And now, she was about to get a hard reality check. I expected her to call back immediately, to beg, yell, demand answers. But instead, she went radio silent. No texts, no calls. At first I thought, maybe she's panicking, trying to figure out a way to fix this on her own. But then, I found out exactly what she was doing, and my blood boiled all over again. Because 2 days later, our mom called me. "Alex," she started, her voice already laced with disapproval. "What is this nonsense about cutting off your sister?" I let out a short, bitter laugh. "Oh, let me guess. Emily called you crying, telling you how cruel I am?" Mom sighed. "She told me she's about to be homeless. She said you just stopped helping her out of nowhere." I scoffed. "Out of nowhere? Mom, she's been lying to me for years. She's not struggling. She's been renting out the apartment I pay for and making bank." Silence. Then a confused pause. "What? Oh, so Emily left out that part." I exhaled sharply. "Check her Airbnb listing, Mom. She's been scamming me while pretending to be broke." Mom hesitated. I could practically hear her clicking through her phone, searching for proof. Then, after a long moment, she muttered, "Oh my God." I smirked. "Yeah," I said. "Oh my God." Mom went completely silent on the phone. For the first time ever, She didn't have an instant excuse for Emily's behavior. "Mom," I said after a few seconds. She let out a slow, heavy sigh. I don't even know what to say. I leaned back in my chair, smirking. "Yeah, imagine how I felt when I found out." She cleared her throat. "Well, okay, I'll talk to her. But Alex, do you really have to just cut her off completely?" I rolled my eyes. "Yes, Mom, because if I don't, she'll never stop using me." "She's your sister," she said softly, "and I was her personal ATM." Mom didn't argue, because deep down, she knew I was right. She sighed again. "All right, I'll call her, but don't be too harsh, okay?" I chuckled. "Mom, trust me, she's about to face way harsher consequences than just me cutting her off." And I was right, because 2 weeks later, I got a text from a random number. It was Emily, and the message, "Alex, I messed up. Can we talk?" I stared at Emily's message for a long moment. "Alex, I messed up. Can we talk?" For 3 years, she had used me, lied to me, played the struggling little sister while living a luxury lifestyle off my money. And now that she was finally facing real consequences, she wanted to talk. I wasn't falling for it. I didn't reply. I just let the silence sit. But Emily, she wasn't done. A few hours later, another text popped up. "Emily, look, I know you're mad, but I'm in serious trouble. Please, just hear me out." I sighed, running a hand through my hair. Curiosity got the better of me. I typed out one word. "Me." "Trouble?" Her response came immediately. "Emily, the landlord found out I was renting the place. He's evicting me. I have nowhere to go." I almost laughed, so that was it. The landlord must have caught wind of her little side hustle and shut it down. Now, she was truly on her own. I thought about it for a second, and then I left her on read. I left her message unread and went on with my day. For the first time in years, I wasn't cleaning up Emily's mess. No rushing to save her, no late-night money transfers, no more being used. But Emily, she wasn't ready to accept that. Because the next day she showed up at my apartment. I heard the knocking first, loud, desperate, non-stop. I knew who it was before I even checked the peephole. I took a deep breath, debating whether to ignore her completely. But then I thought, no, let's finish this. I opened the door. Emily stood there, looking nothing like the girl who had been flexing champagne on Instagram. Her makeup was smeared, her hair a mess. She looked tired, desperate. Her eyes widened when she saw me. "Alex, thank God. Please, I just need a place to crash, just for a few nights." I didn't let her finish. "No." Her face crumpled. "What?" I leaned against the doorframe. "I said no. You lied to me for 3 years, Emily. You stole from me. You didn't care when you were making money off my kindness, but now that it's over, now you need me." She swallowed hard. I wasn't thinking, okay? I messed up. But you're my brother. You're supposed to help me." I let out a cold laugh. "Like how you helped me. Like how you repaid me for 3 years of support." Tears welled in her eyes. "I have nowhere to go." I stared at her for a long moment. Then I shrugged. "Guess you should have saved some of that Airbnb money." And with that, I closed the door in her face. I stood by the door for a moment, listening. Emily didn't leave right away. I could hear her sniffling, then a frustrated huff, then, finally, footsteps. She was gone. And just like that, I was free. No more monthly payments, no more guilt trips, no more covering for someone who never appreciated it. For the first time in years, I wasn't Emily's personal safety net, and it felt damn good. A few weeks passed. At first I expected her to come back, to try again, to beg, plead, or guilt trip me into helping her. But she never did. Instead, I started hearing through mutual friends that she was struggling. She had burned through her savings, couldn't afford a new apartment, and was sleeping on a friend's couch. The Airbnb money was gone, and she had no backup plan. And this time, she had to figure it out on her own. I won't lie, there was a part of me that wanted to feel bad for her. But then I remembered every single time she played me for a fool, every time she lied, every time she pretended to be helpless while she was secretly living the high life. And just like that, I felt nothing. People will take advantage of you for as long as you let them. For years I thought I was helping my sister. But in reality, I was just enabling her. It wasn't until I cut her off that she had to face the real consequences of her choices. And honestly, I wish I had done it sooner. Now, let me ask you, have you ever had someone take advantage of your kindness? How did you handle it? Drop your stories in the comments below.